Thanks, Bob. It's great to be with you guys. I would say this, for many of you that are here, and you've been here a lot of times, I want to just, I think, and we all can, but these men that are in the front row, Bob and Jim McNally and Howard, and in the back you've got Tony and Pat, some guys that have really given a service to this clinic and to the game. We really owe them a great debt of thanks. You guys have made our game better, so appreciate that. It's great to be with you this morning. I'm going to speak on wide zone play, 6-7 holes, we tag it. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to go through the tape exactly as if you were sitting in the meeting room with us as we work with our young guys. And at any point, if at any point you have a question, please raise your hand. I have film to back this up. We'll get into it. There's a couple things. I thought I'd go a little old school. I'd put a little overhead transparency. How about this? So the guy I work with, he's a technology sound guy. I'm not. He said, "Hey, coach, you want me to put this on PowerPoint?" I said, "No. We got old line coaches. We're going to go old school. I'm going to put it on the overhead. I'm going to draw a couple things. We're going to get in the film." So I get clinic notes put together. There's not a lot here, but the things that we're going to guide through. And it was 2 days before I'm leaving, and I said, "Jesus, I got to get these things on transparency." John told me we don't have a doc cam. You can't project it up there. So I said to the guy that runs our office, I said, "Hey, do we got any acetates?" He looked at me, he's like, "What the hell are you talking about, acetates?" I said, acetates, those plastic things, you're right, they're transparencies, they go on overhead. He goes, we got a lot of stuff. He goes, "I don't think we have that." So I had to go out to an Office Max and buy 100 of these things. And it's unbelievable. Nobody does it anymore, and quite frankly, I can see why, because I went to the back of the room, and you guys in the back can't see it. So we'll get moving on this, okay? All right, so here we go. I wanted to put just a little philosophy in how we've arrived at this 6-7 hole game, and I've gotten a lot of great ideas. Bob said in 1992, he came in and visited. I had never experienced any type of zone football. I had coached at Butler University for 6 years. For 2 years, I was a running back coach, and I moved to the offensive line, and, we were a Division II program, and very, very successful. In fact, the guy that hired me there became the head coach at Indiana at one time. And started as a running back coach, transitioned to the offensive line, and we're running power and running counter, and I'm listening to every guy that does it and does it so well. And we ran a little weak side lead, isolation play, strong weak, and we're tossing the ball pin and pull. Had never coached anything that was zone driven. And I'm at Rhode Island, 1992, and Bob was kind enough to come over and spend 2 days with me and started all these things that you work through. Well, then you go on your travels and you kind of find out, hey, this was good for me, this I didn't do very well, these things I learned. And, as we do, we build from that. And through our own experiences, good and bad. So what I'm going to give you right now, we've done for a number of years. Did it heavily at Northern Illinois. This is where it really got shaped for me, at Northern Illinois. And then being able to add it. And then when I went on from Cincinnati to Michigan State, invested in it, got down to New Orleans, coached the running backs for the first 2 years, and looked at it differently from that perspective, and didn't do it the way we're doing it now. We made some subtle changes. All right? And then I would say this, as I get into this. When we transition, and I say we, myself, I have a guy that works with me, Brendan Nugent. He's a young coach. He's not young. He's in his mid-30s, but he's outstanding. He does a hell of a job. He comes by. We've all got stories and traffic, but Brendan was a GA at Iowa and worked for Kirk Ferentz. And you'd say if you watch wide zone football at the collegiate level, Iowa's done it as well as anybody for over a period of time. So he had great background in that, and he's a hell of a young coach, so he's had influence on me. But when we transitioned into the room, I went from tight ends to the offensive line at New Orleans. I said to Sean, I said, I think if we're really going to commit to some of this stuff, and I thought it'd be great for our staff and pull us together, I said, I'd really like to bring in Alex Gibbs. You guys have all heard Alex. So Alex was kind enough to come spend a couple of days with us, 3 days, And when I was talking to Alex on the phone, I said, Coach, really like to have you here. And he said, Dan, I don't have any film to show you. He said, I want you to go out and research it. So John Benton had been at Houston with Kubiak, and John was running the shit out of it and run it well. John's going to speak later. And Juan was doing it at that time in Baltimore. And there was guys, and they were doing it really, really well. So I started watching it, and you're studying. There's over 1,400 clips of this stuff, and it's over and over and over. And it's fascinating when it's done well, and you can see when it's not done well. All right? So this all begins to shape the story, and I don't want to spend a ton of time on it, but here we are. So I'm going to bring us right back to this and how we've arrived to where we're at. So first off, in our philosophy, it fits our people. We have a center that's very athletic. Coach Harding, if you come back, your bag's up here. All right? But we have a center that's very athletic. He has great range. He can go both right to left extremely well, and he's quick, and we can play to that. We also have two athletic tackles. We have guys that have range that can run on the backside. I would say in our protection schemes, it's imperative that we have big guys inside, and I say big, strong. Our left guard plays at about 327. Our right guard plays right at about 323. So those are big, wide-bodied guys. I would not say they're elite feet athlete, but I think they're good enough, and you'll see that on film. So it fits our personnel and our people. I think, obviously, when you're starting to look at this thing, you're looking for multiple formations. So we can be in any set we want with any personnel grouping that we want, and we're running this thing, all right? We want it to be fair. We can run this from the quarterback being underneath center and our runner back in the home. We can be in pistol from here, have it delivered, and away we go. And we can offset this back and go. Although we haven't done a lot of gun, and it's something that we spent this offseason looking at and seeing other people do well. So here's the one thing I'd say in my research of looking at pistol, and this came from the running backs as well. They had a hard time in pistol being directly behind the cue, receiving the snap, and not being able to see the ball delivered. So we took our line of vision for the runner, and we moved it to the play side shoe of the guard so he could get off on time. And this will come back to me as I build through the story, all right? But just a little coaching point there. Obviously, it's something we can run open and tight. So a lot of opportunity there. We can run this to the tight end side. We can run this to the open side. My emphasis is going to be open side, and it's going to be attacking the guard bubble, all right? Here's the next thing, line 4, minimize negative yardage runs. Minimize negative yardage runs. Minimize. I have a little stat that's going to follow this up that'll support some things I'm going to say. And to create explosive runs, all right? So, 92, I get a chance to be around Bob. I leave Rhode Island thereafter. I go to Ball State. I go to Illinois. I get fired. I go to Northern Illinois. I'm at Northern Illinois with Joe Novak. And a lot of guys don't know the story, maybe don't know a lot about Northern Illinois, but Northern Illinois lost 23 straight games. I was part of 18 of them. And it was a phenomenal staff. And here's why I say it to you. It gave me a concrete conviction to doing something. And I believed in this run. We were getting our ass kicked when we were in there, and we continued to. We were running man schemes. We were getting penetration. We weren't blocking people, and the ball was going backwards. And we weren't giving ourselves a chance to win before we did anything else. All right? So when I came from the University of Illinois, I came in there, we started watching our cut-ups, and we said, you know what? We're going to commit to this wide zone play, and we're going to be a good gap team. Those are the two things we're going to do, and we're going to set our hat on that and build it. And over time, we got better, and we learned a lot about it. So I went out and studied. I tried to study everybody that could do it. But most importantly, I was trying to find somebody that ran it and knew it. And that's important. You guys that get out there, I can't encourage you enough to go visit, do so. All right, so minimize negative yardage runs, create explosive plays. Repetition and consistency. I just have a little thing in there. You can't see it in the back. But Jari, so 16, I take over the offensive line room. Jari Evans, who's probably going to be a Hall of Fame guard, tremendous player, played for the New Orleans Saints, 12 years into the league. We're halfway through his last season with us. He then goes on to Green Bay. He and I are having a discussion. And he says, Coach, we're talking about the run game. He said, you know, so often in a game, we do something, and I might be a little poor on an angle, I might be a little bit behind on a block, whatever those things are. He said, but never does the opportunity to come back and run it from the same formation, to get the same look, to make the same correction that I just screwed up in the game. I didn't get there. And I thought to myself, yeah, you're right. And so in this concept that we're talking about is we're talking about making it, as I look at it, reducing the variables and improving the execution and the consistency factor of how we see this as it presents to us. All right? And I thought that was a great lesson and reaffirmation for me as I looked at it. All right? Open side, here's the deal. Number 6, you can't see this up there, but attack their best pass rusher. Let's decide in the game who that guy is, and let's go after him. It's a game, hey, matchups in the pass game, matchups in the run game. Let's create them and let's find them. Find your run game and let's go. All right? But we want to attack their best pass rusher. Make him work at the point of attack and make him work all downs. Make him work. Let's go after him. So that's the thought there. And then I prefer to run at the guard bubble or the shade. That's what I prefer. I don't see a lot of great 3-technique wide zone runs. They're in there. I got a couple on film that are okay. But I like going at the bubble, so we were going to game plan. I'm going to find and I'm going to look and I'm going to work hard to try to create that. And finally, 8 and 9, as you look at it, we wanted to create aggressive help, move the defense, and make them fit it correctly. So what do I mean by aggressive help? I mean, if I've got help coming with me, I'm covered, and I've got one undercovered coming with me, I want to get my ass going to my line of force. I want to go, all right? And then finally, 9, minimal calls and communication, all right? So 2 years in the offensive line room, this is our wide zone stats. I don't want to get into all that, but if you looked at it in 17 and 16, we've averaged 5.10 a carry, in 17, 5.08, in 16. You'd say that's a model of consistency from a term of what we're gaining, all right? In 17, we had 14 explosive plays. We had 9 negative yardage runs, of which 3 were penalties, all right? So that number looked like it ticked up a little bit to me. In 16, all right, we had 6 explosives and 4 negatives. So we've invested 182 snaps in this concept, tight and wide, wide zone. All right? You'd say the average, the production, all those things sit there. So you're seeing this. Now, I go down to negative yardage runs. I'm just looking to the right-hand column here. In 17, we were the 3rd fewest negative yardage runs in the league, in 17. In 16, we were 2nd. Here's the deal. Sean Payton's our play caller. He's a great play caller. But I'm going to tell you, you have a concept that you believe in, and you have a -2, you might get that call maybe one more time. Maybe, but you better be fighting your ass off for it. All right? But I can get him to have patience and remain patient with the run game if we're moving it back and forward. So 2nd and 8 is so much, you heard guys talk about 2nd and 8 is so much more easy to deal with than certainly 2nd and 12. We all know that. So that's what we're striving for. I thought that supported what we were about and trying to get back philosophically. I can't see a damn thing now. My glasses. All right, getting to our backs. And the coaching points here. All right, for our alignment, for our runner now. He's 7 or 7.5 yards deep in its ability alignment. All right, I think everybody's a little bit unique. But we're going to start with him at 7, and then maybe it's a tick back. You may have to find him at a tick up. All right, our footwork, this is important for the runner. It's a drop step and it's quick. It's down and it's get going right now. You're going to see in times where it's a elongated drop step and we feel like we're behind the phasing we're striving for. All right? His point of aim or departure is going to be the butt of the tight end. That's where we're running. Or ghost, imaginary side. Here's what I'd say. When you look at the open side, the failures, as we've found, is sometimes it can be a little tighter than you want it to be. Just simply because of the open side and where the alignment of the defensive end is. They've got to stay trustworthy with where they're going. It's got to be consistent on that path. All right? His read is going to be 1 to 2. We define 1 as the defensive end. In man on line of scrimmage. That's what we're looking at. 1 to 2. Here's what I would tell you. To the open side, though, you get off 1 fast and get to 2. All right? You get off a fast, get to 2. Here's our deal now. If the color, if the defensive end, if the jersey color is outside of our tackle, or the tight end in this case, if we're working it to the base side. If there's color outside, the ball's going to move up inside. If we get our hat to that location and our shoes don't come back, he's going to run that line, he's going to attack that path. All right? Here's the other deal as we go through it. All right? The decision for the runners, we look at it and evaluate it. He's making this decision on his third step, but he's coming off of this thing on 5. When you really stop and look at it, and you'll see it on our film. The evaluation of the runner, and I don't think we give them enough positive reinforcement for being on track and making great decisions to make this scheme go. Because I would tell you, if we weren't on our backs, the shit I'm talking about, when you go to the film, I don't think it'd be nearly as effective. All right? So I think it's critical as we look at it. But when we evaluate the runner, a couple things. When he's attacking the line of departure, we want to see a straight line path. I drop step, I'm on the angle of the butt of the tight end, I want to maintain that. I don't want to see dips, I don't want to see bows, I don't want to change that, so the quarterback's got to get it back to him. All right? Evaluate the stripe of his hat. Does his hat turn inside to find the ball? He's losing location to read. Eyes are off, but typically if my eyes go inside, where do I go? I go inside. All right? So read and evaluate that stripe. He gets one cut. We're going to eliminate the hesitation. We're going to eliminate it in the stutter of the feet. It's one cut, be decisive, and we're going to live with it. All right? Trust and attack, demeanor behind pads. Now, I wrote this down. I was looking at this morning, just kind of going through and reviewing notes. If our shoes or our feet come back from the offensive line perspective, invariably over time, I've seen this 1,000 times over and over and over, when we come back, they cut up. And so there's a rep in there. Our left tackle is a talented guy when he's healthy. He got his hat outside. He worked him. He started to work away. His line of force and his shoes were coming back. And he was in control of the block. He came off. He said, "Dan, why didn't the ball go outside?" And I said, "I'm not sure." But, you know, you look at this picture and you're like, I don't know. But I knew on Monday when I looked at the film, as soon as his shoes came back. All right, so that's important. And the other thing that happens is kids will invariably run around this block. There'll be more color hanging inside than you want. And again, the back feels this element, and invariably he's going to cut north-south. All right, so I listed that. Our quarterback, he opens or reverse pivots. He opens at 5 or reverses out at 5 or 7. Second step's an adjustment. Get the ball deep as he can as possible to the runner. He's going to naked away, and when we come out of the naked, because we're going to impact the backside, we want 3 to 5 hard steps, and we really want to see his head snap around. I would say this: if I could, I would open up and get going on this thing rather than reverse out. All right? Drew, our quarterback, who's outstanding, he has a more comfort level to do this, and it's worked for us. But I do get nervous about this step with the center catching his shoe. All right? So just a thought there. Okay, for the offensive line now, we'll get going. All right, splits. As a general rule, we're going foot and a half to 18 inches, but I will tell you this on our film, to the open side. We'll cheat that tackle. It'll open. Sometimes it'll be 2.5, all right? We'll let him go out there, and we'll build it with protection, and we'll build it with run so it's consistent. Our vertical alignment for us, our down hand for our guards, we're putting our down hand right at the top of the shoelaces of the center. We want it right in the ankle joint. We want to give ourselves a position of being off the ball to improve our angles of departure as we go, all right? If we have our tackles up in a 2-point, his shoes simply mirror the shoes of the guard. We're going to align on that alignment. All right, now let's start talking about at the point of attack. Target for, this is covered working with help throughout the block. I don't give a shit who you are. If you're covered and you're working with help, here's where we're going right now. All right, our target is the outside edge, with help now, outside edge of the pec to the armpit. All right, here's what I'm striving for. I want backside hand through the sternum. I want to get on this angle, and then I want to drive the angle I find the defender on, all right? So this first step that we're going to take, we just simply term it as position or lead. The wider the defender, the deeper the angle, the tighter the defender, I'd like to get this thing down fast, all right? Now, all right? I want to get this second step coming in the ground, all right? That's the biggest thing I look at. So our first step is position. Our second step, we're going to drive our backside leg right through his crotch. All right? And then I'm aiming my backside hand, I'm aiming this thing for his sternum. That's what I'd like to get it there. And I want to try to bring it with as much violence as I can. And once I'm to that position, I'm trying to lock that back hand. I'm trying to grab a little bit of cloth. But that's what I'm aiming for. All right? Our third step, and I think this is true as you see our film, it's 1 to position, it's 2 through this crotch. I want to try to get this third step through the line of force up the field. We're driving with power with our backside leg. We want to get on that angle and go, but I want to get this thing up. I don't want to get flattened. All right? Our eyes, coaching point, our eyes to the target, our feet will follow. Hat speed, eyes to target. Hat speed, eyes to target. Let's get on that angle and let's roll. Okay? I talked about hand placement real quick there. All right, you're uncovered and you're working to the combination. So it's a guard tackle combination, it's a center guard combination. You're the uncovered lineman, you're working in this combination. All right, for us, our target is the screws of our hat to the screws of his hat, to the down defender. That's where we're starting on this angle. And we are hauling ass and running, coming out of there. Now, we are reading the near knee. That's our key. All right, so I'm starting on this angle, near knee right now. You tell me how wide he is, I'll tell you how flat this step is. But I'm going to say this. I think this is a fallacy, the thing I've experienced with these guys. I think for tackles, guards, I think when there's more width, guys think more depth to get on the angle. I agree with this angle that we've got to change it, but I'm more concerned about it getting in the shoe in the ground. Howard was asking this question. We were watching film yesterday. This thing's happening, guys, coming, because this first step's too big. Get this thing down. Get that backside step coming when you guys are working. Well, when I start looking at the uncovered guy, you're going to see transitions, but I want to get on this angle, one down on the ground. Here we go, too. I'm keying the near knee, and I'm going. On the second step, either contact's going to occur with this movement, or I'm going to start to think process of transition. So uncovered, I'm on my second step. Defender's working away. I'm coming off a 3. I'm going near hand or 2 hands if any colors there. I'm trying to snap it, and I'm advancing up to the linebacker. We'll get into that, and you'll see it. Okay? If we take 5 steps, uncovered guy, we've gone too far. We've gone too far. So there's a rhythm about and a feel for it. 1, 2, 3. We get to 4 or 5. We've gone too far. All right? Key coaching points. Run and block on the angles that reflect the point of attack. Stay on it. All right? Stay on it. Do not swing or torque. All right? You'll shut down what's coming from the backside. We see it all the time, over and over and over. So I find a guy on an angle, stay on the angle. Even if I get to this position, get me more vertical than back. And if I get to this position, I've turned it all back, I'm going to naturally pick the work that's been done, and there they go. So we got to stay on this track and get rolling. All right? All right, you're covered working without help. Target, play side number, same as if we have help. Hand placement inside or backside. All right, so I'm working without help. Nothing's changed. I'm targeting the play side number. Everything else we're talking about is the same. Rather than go to the sternum with the backhand, we're going to the short ribs. All right. Key coaching points, here's what I'd say to you. And you're going to hear me say it a lot throughout the film. Lock that backside inside arm. So if I'm the left tackle and I'm working without help and I've come to this position, I'd like to get this thing to the short rib area underneath, and I'm locking and I am extending and I am doing everything in my power to grab cloth here. For this reason, as this thing starts to move, invariably if this guy's outside, the ball's going to cut and I'm going to lose this guy back inside. So I want to have something on him. Okay? All right? Point of attack, second level block. Aim one-man pass. Anticipate the junction or contact point. Absorb and control. Okay, does that make sense? You guys are good there. All right, now, backside combinations. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. I think we'll get to the film and it'll do you better. But target, angle of departure. All right? We're going to work down lineman, play side, advance and build angle to second level linebacker. All right? First step, gain ground on angle of departure. That's all I'm going to say. But here's what's important on these backside combinations. I want to make sure that as I come out, it's a straight, stiff arm that comes from the ground straight out. I want knuckles up, and I'd like to make impact with the heel of the hand. That'd be ideal. But I want knuckles up. What I've discovered over time is when the thumb rotates down, the elbow bends slight, and we get bent in here, we don't get the extension. When we don't get the extension, we don't get the turn. When I went back and I watched John's guys do it in Houston, the good ones that happened on the backside, I kept seeing this consistently. I hadn't thought about how that came out. Well, then I started kind of watching our guys, and I started seeing rotation started to happen. Elbow started to bend. We weren't getting the extension that we were trying to create. And all we're trying to do from inside of this wide B with this stiff arm is just turn the shoulder pad enough to bring the adjacent lineman in to take this over. That's all we're doing. All right? And then I would say this, as we work the backside, when you're advancing to the second level, you find yourself on the second level. We're leveraging the play side number. That's what we're running for. We can't get there. All right? If we can't get there, we find the back pad running. So we're aiming one-man pass when we come out of this thing. And we'll get to the film quickly here, I promise. All right, listen. Our point of attack combinations, I'm just going to quickly go this, and then I'm going to get going. All right, center. When we say single, or whatever your call is, center guard combination, the only thing we're doing is landmarking the play side guard. We're telling him he has landmark centers coming. All right? If I took a 3 technique and moved him to a 2I, we're going to say single, and we're going to give a directional call that tells that guard now, center has landmark, you're in a position to work. If that's a guard tackle combination, and it's a tackle with the 4I, it's the same thing. We're going to have a call that determines the angle of where the help's coming from and who has the landmark. So in our single, in our double, in our triple, whatever those things are, all we're doing is identifying in definition term who is got landmark, okay? You guys good on that? All right, I was going to draw some stuff up. I'm not. I think I'd just rather get into the film. How do I turn this off, John? Is there a power button? There we go. Got it. All right, so I've got film. There's a variation of some split flow stuff. And then at the end, I've got drills that would follow with time provided. I've got a lot of film on here. So this starts at the beginning of the season. This is exactly what I took. OTAs begin. We just got through. We're in finishing phase 2. So we've had four meetings of each of the last 2 weeks, so a total 8. So I edited film. And this is exactly the film that I took to our rookies when they came in for rookie minicamp. All right, so we're starting with open side or weak side zone, all right? Here we go. For us, we're going to mic it play side. You're going to see that consistently. Drew handles all mics for us, but our center would easily do this. But it's Drew's. He does it with all of our protections, and he's outstanding. And he's running our shit, so we follow him, all right? But we're going to mic here play side. You're going to see right guard, right tackle in combination. Watch our center. He gets his hat just a little bit short, but let's get our back. Let's get it going. So this is the first one of the year. All right, right tackle right now. You're working with help. Open play side shoe on the angle, just outside his shoe. Get the backside leg going. Let's get our eyes out to the near edge of that outside pec, to the armpit. Let's get the backside hand in. He's short. All right, now I'm watching our right guard. 1, 2, 3, key near knee, transition off of this, and snap and climb. All right? I'm watching the backside B on the backside, and I don't like it. All right? We don't see any extension with the backhand. He's able to get his inside hand, tie us down, and we can't get off to the second level. This is the first one. Now, here's my point. I'm watching the runner right now. All those things about us, we're not doing very well. I'm watching the runner right now, and I say this. I don't like his phasing right now. I want him out there faster right now. I want him out in front to make this thing happen. You're going to see it. So he's a little bit behind. So drop step. You don't see drop step. Get it down. Get it going quick. All right, so that's the first one of the year. All right, here we go. Coming back. Now, there's a little motion. You're going to see an adjustment here, okay? Now, this is a unique adjustment for us because at the end of the day, we start with the idea that that's where our combination's going. It's guard tackle, all right? So you guys might refer that to as double. We might just simply say it's a tag combination, whatever that is, guard tackle combination. All right, as we watch it, the mic just went behind him. So very quickly right now, based on Mike's alignment, we're going to try to go near foot lead up and down and go through. Now, we go a little bit more play side than you'd like, but you can see near foot and the inside hand here. Now, I don't like the idea of the outside shoulder closing off like that and getting turned. I do see a wide B on the backside, and I can see stiff arm knuckles up, straight extension, and I see good turn on the 3 right now and open it. Okay? I don't like our left tackle. I like his angle of departure, but I don't like the big step, and I don't like it going back like that. I see the second step going through crotch, but we get flattened a little bit, and I think a lot of it goes back to this guy going from guard to tackle, haven't done a good enough job getting him going, but down and up right now. Let's quicken that pace up. All right? Runner, take a look at it. I like the phasing better here relative than what you just saw in the last snap. We're out in front of this thing right now. We're attacking the bubble. I don't like the tackle's inside hand right now. Get it underneath and lock it. But stay on it, okay? Here we go. All right, now, open side. Coach Mudd asked this question yesterday, the read. All right? This is one of the few times we've got a 2-eye sitting in here, so for us, we're making a single R call right here. And we're telling the tackle, very little communication, and I would say a lot of it becomes nonverbal as time takes place. But there's a 2-eye in here. We're telling the tackle, hey, I'm not with you right now. So he's going to target this just as if he's going play side number as he knows he doesn't have help. Don't like the outside hand, misses it, all right? But I do like the idea inside here. We're going near hand, shoulder turn, hat speed 2, and cover, all right? Our runner here is exceptional, in my opinion, on the path, the line of force, the acceptance of the ball, the stripe of it, and then he just simply takes it outside, and then his abilities take over. The B on the backside is decent. I see the extension, but I don't like the angle of departure back guard. We've got to take a little better angle to capture that line of force. All right? Next cut. Here we go. We're going to mic. We know the target is going. We've got a 2-eye sitting in here. We are going to work hard this spring right now or this summer. We're going to start this inside footwork right now on this angle through the armpit and get this thing going. We're already in position that we don't need to take 1. 2 can generate it right now. So let's get this thing started, and we're in a better angle to come off. All right? Watching the B on the backside. The backhand is good. I see shoulder. You can see this from the right guard right now. Snap straight out, and you can see just a little momentum and force build off on that angle. You can see the color angle for the left guard right now with this color call telling center, you got a landmark. I'm going through armpit on an angle to the backer. I'm watching the left tackle right now. Let's get 1 down. First step down, second step through the crotch, backside hand in. Let's run that angle. Let's lock that inside hand. See him lose him inside late right here. Right there, we're not locked strong enough. We're not locked strong enough. All right, but we're watching the backside angle. All right, the season-long cut-up. So you're going through and you're looking at it. Again, there's Mike, center guard combination. Here we go. All right. Good angle of departure here by the left tackle. I like the left shoe down. I like the backside under control. I like it happening. You'd like it to happen on 2. Happens on 3. It's all right. This is a good inside arm. I can see it locked and driving right now. All right. I'm the runner right now. I'm reading 1. I'm getting off of 1. I'm moving to 2. All right. I'm watching the center left guard on this combination. Play side shoe up and down, a little bit more angle than you'd like. You'd like to get that line of force going through. This is a good, excellent B on the backside. I like the shoulder turn. I can see it. So we're not cutting and running, although it would happen. Here's a great example of the back guard being behind the run, finding the back tip of the pad, and although he doesn't finish on his feet, just finishes him enough. All right? Again, same theme. All right, safety dropped down in the box. We ended up miking it weak. Okay, no big deal. Targets, here we go. This is a really good B by the back guard right there. That's an excellent B. When I see turn, shoulder, angle, momentum, using his inside arm to drive on the angle, to be an athlete, to go cover that angle. It's a good color call here. Yeah. Yes, we do. You'll see just a couple. I would say this, Bob. We did not, and now listen, it was more of a point of emphasis, but I did not make a big deal about going and cutting them. I made a big deal about running to get them. And then however we got to them, we did. You'll see a handful of cuts, not many, all right? I'll be honest with you, I hit 1 cut drill every spring. You'll see it. I've got it on film. It's really when Alex comes, he coaches that drill, all right? And he does a hell of a job with it. But in practice, we're constantly running to stay up. So I haven't probably done a good enough job on the backside. All right, don't get bored watching this because some stuff will come up as we go. Bob, how are we doing on time right now? Plenty of it? Yeah? All right, so listen, a good angle. Here's a really good lock. Watch your left tackle. Here it is, hand underneath. All right, lock it, lift it, run it, backside leg through. All right, so what's the angle we find him on? Well, we're aiming without help. We're aiming our hat to the outside number. All right, we find him on that angle. We block him on that angle. We stay in the block, and away we go. A little sift action by the backside tight end here. Like to see him get going off that a little bit quicker. But good cut, good run. All right, here we go. Going to our right. All right, uncovered guard now. All right, so let's watch the right guard and evaluate a three-step. What we're going to say is a double here. Guard-tackle combination. We might get play side. 1, 2, 3. Key near knee. Near hand, if there's color there. Transition to the angle. All right, here's what I'd say on this evaluation as we evaluate it. Tight shade, 3. Backside linebacker in our indication as we go. We'd say that's a wide B going there. But if he starts to find himself in leverage where you're behind this block, let's start to talk about these backside combinations. If we bring all 3 into this on the backside, it's going to be an A-B. It's going to bring all 3. The guard-tackle combination B, the center back guard an A. This brings all 3. We just say A-B. And I think this is what it does. It puts you on a better angle to come off his hip to go get leverage on that backer. We're just a little bit behind it, but to your point, Bob, there's an attempt at us cutting for losing lack of leverage. Here's when we say to cut. If that guy is running downhill, attacking downhill, and we're on his shoes, cut him. If he's running lateral and you're athletic enough to stay on the angle, go. We don't cut until he's running downhill. All right, so I'm watching our right tackle here, and he's just a rookie, and he doesn't know any different. But I guarantee if he was the left tackle, he'd say, Coach, why isn't the ball going outside? There's no color out there. Why isn't it going outside? And I would say this to you. Because invariably when the runner sees it, what's he see? He sees your shoes back. So if he sees your feet back, you don't have control of the defender to the line of scrimmage. Invariably, he makes this cut. And it's a good run. All right, here we go. Going left. Same idea. 2-eye, all right, as we go. Now, I would say this. If Max thinks he can get landmark to this thing, and he's as talented as there are in this league, all right, I would say this. He's probably going to say hand with this idea that we're going to get backhand rather than heavy to it and get on the angle and going. Again, a good look at a lock back inside hand by our left tackle right now. I think 1's decent. I think 2's a little long right there, but it's down to contact. You guys see it. I'd like to get his whole shoe on the ground. I'd like to have it in there. All those things we talk about. To the second level, to the play side guard, to the play side tackle, to the tight end. If you ever are advancing play side, here's what we'd like you to do. When you go up, we want to cover play side number with leverage, but this is one block that's not an ass kicker. We're not trying to knock this guy down. We're trying to absorb and control. So you can see he widens his hands, and he gets to a position of control, and he's coming off of that. This is a cut on the backside by the backside tight end. All right, again, good B on the backside, and it's just amazing how much this ball is moving and how this ball ends up back behind it. So really, as you start thinking about it, maybe we need to think more backside point of attack than we do front side. All right, here we go, next opponent. Now, as we look at it right here, again, hand, color, second level. Great job of running on the B on the backside. Backside tackle just a little short, but running by. You find him on the back tip of the pad, running by. Let our runners go do our thing. All right? Again, look at your phasing and timing of the halfback. Quick drop step. Look where he's at in relationship to the center. Different than the very first snap of the game, of the season, when we were behind this by 2 steps. All right, so then I go back to, and I start thinking about pistol. And we talked about our angle of departure and how we get the back out on time and get going. The other thing I'm going to tell you is it's critical that the center snap the ball to the left or right hip as we go. It's got to be on point. We can't be behind it and going. It'll slow the process. We ran a handful of pistol this year, not nearly as well as we did a year ago. All right? Here's a good look at it. We get a 5-man box. Got no tight end in here. We simply are trying to get this to the shade as we go in this particular look. This is great against single high defense. We open it up right now. We got hats on everybody to the perimeter. And this kid just takes over his talents. Listen, there's nothing complicated about this. We spend a lot of time thinking about formation and how we get there in our matchups. But once we get going, we're working concept over concept over concept over concept and trying to see improvement with everything we do. All right, I'm watching the left guard right now. See how big that first step is? I don't want that. Get that thing on the ground. First off, he's a 2 technique. Your play side shoe's already outside his shoe. You pick it up and put it down 1 inch, but get it on the ground, so we transition this backside leg right now. Get it going. It's too big. Get it on the ground. Get it on the ground. Nice lock inside arm by our left tackle. Here's the other thing I'm going to share with you. And I hadn't thought about this until I got around Max Unger. And doing it for a lot of years. He said this, Coach. He said, man, I'd much rather go left than right. I've been coaching this a long time. Never thought about the center. Just thought about ability. Not that we're not going to go right, but think about it. Where am I? I'm throwing my hat, but where are my hands? Going right's much more difficult than going left. So we have a pretty good left tackle. We're a pretty good gap scheme to our right. We're a little heavier, a little built more that way. So a little more right side gap run game, not exclusively, a little more wide zone left. So you learn stuff from your players, you guys that are with older, more experienced guys. You guys that are coaching at the younger level like we do, you're learning from all these guys that are going to speak beyond me. Okay, going to the 3 technique now, going left, all right? So here we go, single to the 3. All right, I'm working with help. Center's coming right now. All right, he's thinking 3 steps to this transition. He's thinking screws of his hat to his hat. Left guard has landmark right now. I want to go outside edge of the pec. I want backhand to the sternum, and I'm transitioning through that with the second step through, and then I want to get that thing up the field. Again, I think 1 is a poor first step. You guys would agree. It's behind him. I'm not gaining ground. I'm losing ground. Get it down. Get it going. I think this kid was just on the verge of starting to be something. Now, here's the next important point I'm going to make. If you're on the backside of this run and you have a 2-eye to the back guard, all right, you have a 2-eye to the back guard. We make a man call here as the back guard, and we tell the back tackle, you are on an angle to go get the backer. If the backer stacks and gets to a position where we can't, then we're going to force the B on that angle. All right, but if we got a 2-eye, we're going to man this thing right now. Here's the other thing we're going to do. When we man this thing, we do not allow them to cut. All right, I've had guys cut, and invariably his shoes are in the hole or the lane for the run of the tackle to that angle. So you don't cut. You want to get backhand through. And here's one that I'd say is a no-no. And the tight end's cutting, but I don't like what 67 does flipping back there. There'll be better angles later as we go. All right, but center guard combination. Here's the next thing. The center now is transitioning and snapping that thing off and climbing. Okay. Here we go. Now, just a little variations in some things. Again, not with getting into all the scheme stuff of it. It's still the same for us. But all we're doing is kind of easing off of this with the tight end. So really at the end of the day, he's got first pass the point. So if that's Mike, he's got next pass. And that could be a DB, that could be a nickel, that could be shell if we're in a 2x2 and he could be advancing the safety. But we always leave the number 1 receiver, or if it's in a 3x1, the number 2 receiver working off of, but always leave number 1 on corner. All right, now, I think the center got just a little bit far. Play side, backhand, right now. Angle of departure, decent on the backside. Again, get going. Transition off of 3. You can see this. Watch the right guard uncovered. Third step, near hand, near man. Snap it, and up to the second level. Good path, good run. Ball's behind it. All right, again, same idea. Again, I would say this when I evaluate this as we were doing with our rookies. I think our left guard's backhand is really good. We're throwing that thing. Nothing's happening. He's out wide, but on that angle, I think that angle's got to be one-man pass, and he's a little bit behind it. He ends up on the back pad and run it. Doesn't gain the leverage that we want. We got to get going on that. Play side step, pretty good by our play side tackle. 1, 2, 3 transition. I'd like to see the transition come off from the right guard, snap and climb a little quicker to it. But good job of covering and going. Nice run. All right, here we go left. All right, Watch this from the left tackle to your point. See how big one is? See how big one is? Two didn't get in the ground right now. So this happens. This defensive end's attacking him right now. I've got help. I'm landmarking outside edge of the pec to armpit right now, backhand to the sternum. All those things true, but I think one is too big. It's got to get on the ground right now. It's got to get on the ground right now to transition to, and our pad level's poor. I want to attack with my backside shoulder down to reduce the hitting surface or striking surface to this defensive end. It's good cover on the backside. I think the transition when I watch the left guard, 1, 2, 3, is pretty good. It's pretty good, but I think we'll have better samples as we go here. 1, 2, 3 transition. Watch our left guard, left tackle in this concert of this thing. All right, center. Hat's a little short. Get it over there. Lock the backhand. Now, I would say this to the back guard. I think this is poor bias. So if we're working this combination, they're thinking B combination there. Watch this happen. Buzz safety down inside. Hey, continue on the angle and block what you see. Don't go back. Stay on the angle. Never pass one to take one. Never pass one to take one. Or never take one to pass one, excuse me. Yeah. Let me go back to it. Right here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, right? If color is in range, if I can make touch, right now, if color's in range, on my second or third step, I'm going to go. But if I got to go 4 or 5, there's not going to have anything happen. Does that make sense? Yeah. Oh, I got you. Here's why. He's a shade. The guard right now is uncovered, and so the guard's calling combination to the tackle, and he's saying, I'm with you. Okay? Does that make sense?
It does, but it doesn't look like the play was not successful because of that. It looks like he stabs him.
Well, here's what I would say to you, and I'm not going to disagree. I think the failure of this play isn't at the point of attack. I'd like to get the center going a little bit more place. I think it's on the backside with the back guard going to what was the Sam linebacker instead of seeing the Buzz safety. Okay? Thank you, though. All right, here we go. Okay, now, listen, this is just a technique that comes to us now. Inside footwork. I think this is more for a 2-eye. He felt the hip tilt, and they felt like this combination was going to happen. Part of it is player. You can see Grady stepping out on this thing right now, and so Max called this in right now. He made a color call, and so this is the one time I could find where I saw inside footwork to it. This is what we're striving for, but I don't like it to the angles we're coming out on this. But it's the idea, and we're working on this. The one is too long. So Alex said something profound to me at the end of the season going through this. He said, your guys should know which foot they're going to step with. And yeah, you're right. They should know. And listen, I don't mean that. I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean, think about how profound that statement is, that a guy comes to the line of scrimmage and by alignment, what am I doing? What am I doing? And they should know. And I thought the coaches last night were addressing some of those things with their technique. And I thought that was really something. It made a lot of sense to me. So failure here again. Like I said, these are not all perfect. These are good and bad in between, all right? So again, combination, here we go. All right, I think this is a good transition. I'm watching the left guard right now on this combination. Watch it. Screws a hat, key near knee. All right? I don't like our left tackles inside hand. I don't like it. We're going to make that better. But I like the idea here, 1, 2, 3, and watch the left guard transition off of this right now. So here's the deal, Coach. If the end would have spiked inside, or if there were any color off of 3 and or 2, he's snapping it. And we're snapping with this inside or near hand right now. I find this, it may be 2 hands, but if the backhand comes, it may carry me 5 instead of coming off of 3. Listen, we're not worried about it, but it is a concern as we look at it, and it's something that when we drill, we talk about. All right, nice cut by this kid. All right, again, same idea. Center, hat, play side. Love the backhand right now. I love the angle. I like it. Backside leg through running. Left tackle, good line of force. Good line of force. We got to make one quicker. We got to get two down, but we got to get the backhand in. I like the B angle on the backside here. Here's where I can see the back guard right now, the right guard. I can see a little inversion of the thumb down. You find them in funny points, but this is where the one time I'm looking at the elbow being bent, and it gets into us a little deeper than I'd like it. I'd like it to have extension and go. Back tackle, good run. Nice job on the backside. We're reading this thing 1 to 2. Again, you'd say, hey, color, any color out there? No, we're on this line of force right now. I would say this, going in this game, the last game prior to this, we drifted a couple times on a few things. I think this 41 overcompensated this game and got the ball up just a little quicker than we'd like. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. He's a good runner. All right, just a couple that are, again, going back to 3 techniques so we can see the center guard combination. There's a good angle by right guard right now. Let's make that first step down a little quicker. Let's get that backside leg. I like the hat placement. I like the backside hand. It's under. I don't like, and again, I evaluate this, I don't like how long 1 is because I don't see 2 transitioning fast enough. And I think if 2 gets going, I think the angle is better blocked. Now, I think this is excellent transition by the center. 1, 2, 3, snap. Widen, let the back run in transition. I think this is an outstanding run when I evaluate a runner. Watch it. Stripe a hat on the angle, penetration in the B gap. Watch this kid just ever so slightly. Patience, reacceleration right now. We don't like him to stutter his feet. But this does happen. I think it's a great job of getting back on earth, and it's one of the better runs. I'm not talking about all the long ones or that kind of, whatever those things are. I like this run a lot. Poor job on the backside. Poor job. All right, here we go. 3 technique side again with just a little bit of movement. All right, play side guard. Good first step. Get it down. Backside leg go. Now trust. Backhand. Get on your angle and go. Accelerate. I was listening to Coach talk last night about combinations. I think it was Stacy. Nonetheless, accelerate. Get your feet going on this second level to go get leverage. We don't get to the safety behind this look. That's all right. I like Max throwing his hat play side. I think when I watch the center going after the shades, and I see so much hat speed and violence, I'm thinking, why am I not talking that way to the guards, to the 3 technique? I'm talking about getting our feet on these angles, but why am I not? I'm coaching the shit out of that on the center. I'm not saying enough to the guards. So I made that mental note coming back into the season. That's what the guards are going to hear to the 3 technique when we get to our drill work. Hat speed. I want to get on the line. I want to get going. I think this is a great job by the right tackle. Backhand, under, lock, run. Accelerate my feet. Here's what we say. We want the hand underneath. If the 5 were to spike right now, all right, we will fall back, but we're not lagging to hold this now, Bob. We will fall back and we'll get what we can get on him, all right? But we're not lagging and pinning on this guy per se. We've gotten out there, no, get going, let's go.
Coach, what are you telling the backside guys with the first step? Gain ground or get on track or both?
I would say this, I want to gain ground first and foremost with this step. Now, it's the angle of departure. Here's what I'd say. Look where your Sam is. It's a great question, right? There is no shade here. So what's the angle of departure? Well, he's a 2 technique, and he's tight, or he's a tight 3 right now. I got to open. I got to get backhand to the inside edge of that near tip of that pad, the inside pad. So I want to get on that angle. That angle relative to being able to hit that intersect point as he's running on this angle. Okay? So if this were a shade right here, and this backer got right into this area, I would tell you his angle of departure would be right off the hip of the near shade. Does that make sense? Yep. All right, that would be the angle of departure. So all of a sudden we get into where we got a 2, 2 twos, tight 2, 3, whatever. I'm going to say to the back guard, nothing. I would anticipate that through our repetition, he's felt this angle and get going. Now, I think as he looks at it here, and I think this is a case in point where this 2 really turned into a 2I immediately on that movement, all right? We got leverage. His backside leg's pretty good here. One's down. Two's pretty good. Pads level's a little high. But I think the failure here is our back tackle. I think he's really stepping underneath himself behind it. You see it?
Yeah.
We're really behind it, and we're late.
And your left guard does a real good job on this one.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, nice job there. Okay, a couple things. Here we go from gun. Just a couple things here as you look at it. All right, really the only time we ran it from gun all year, the wide zone. We run a fair amount of tight zone here. All right, but we ran it here, and I want you to just watch your backside tackle on this. Just a little jab influence. All right, so look, here's the deal on this. One, we're up, but if we can slow this in, and typically we don't run a lot of nakeds from gun position, so if we can just slow him, if he'll allow us, so on this sift angle, you just see a little jab. I think it's a little longer than I'd like, but I think it's the right idea that you can impact the backside in right now, and potentially this ball's behind it as you look at it. All right? I like the center right guard combination here. I like the transition. Interestingly enough, to some points that were made last night, look at the angle that Max is on anticipation of the play side backer. Watch this transition. And then all of a sudden, because during the week I said, this is gun, this is gun, this is gun, got a chance to cut up. I overcooked. Look where he went. All right? And then, it's a 4-yard run and whatever. And then, Sean's on my ass. And I'm saying to Max, hey, man, that was dumb coaching. 1, 2, 3, good transition. All right, I'm going to... All right, so late in the season, this is actually in the final game of the year in the playoffs, and I'm watching and evaluating here, and I'm starting to like footwork. I like our left tackle. I like one down. I like how quick two is coming. I like it trying to go through the crotch. I like the angle about it. I'd say his hat's outside, his backside hand's low. I like all about it. Everything I see I like. I like the left guard 1, 2, 3 transition. I like the near hand coming right now. I like it. I like the inside hand staying tight. So this is guard tackle. This is tackle tight end. I don't give a shit. It's center guard. I don't give a shit. It's a guard. It's a combination, uncovered, working with help. All right, here we go, backside. All right, so, Bob, to your point, here we go. We got Joseph on the backside. It's a playoff game. We are trying to cut. All right, so that happens. Here's what I'd say. When I look at the B on the backside, I think it's pretty good. I think, Coach, to your point, angle of departure on the backside. One-man pass. Look where he's at right now. I would say this as we talked. This becomes a little more A-B-ish, so nothing's going to change. When we say A-B, I didn't even explain that, but if I'm on the back side of this and I'm pulling the back guard in and I'm the center, I got a zero nose, it's a jam front, or I got a tight shade and the backer's at an angle that I got to get going, or I feel like movement's happening, and I'm bringing him in on this thing, the only thing I'm telling the back guard is, hey, you're going, but this hand's back here, and I'm telling the tackle, you don't really have that hand. It is hauling ass. So you get your ass going. All right, so, all right, that's the only thing I would tell you. So I'd like to get the back guard in the center right here. A-B, call it in, get it going, open it right now, and go get it. Okay, so I would say a couple of factors. If we get a jam front, automatic, okay, any automatic jam front, here's the next thing I'm going to evaluate. The tightness of the shade and where is the alignment of the backside linebacker. Those two things will determine a potential A-B call, okay? And then here's the thing. Listen, during training camp when we go in, we make these guys make calls, so they're just simply communicating back and forth. In the game, it's like very little. Very little. And I would say there's a pretty good understanding amongst them as they look covered to uncovered. A guy like Howard that played in for their inside forever, I didn't have that experience. I would say this, they get where they feel one another and there's not a lot of things even being said, they just by alignment. Would you agree with that, Coach?
Coach, are you okay right there with your backside guard cutting the linebacker coming down?
So here's the question. Backside guard cutting.
67 with that linebacker coming down right there.
Okay. I would say that if we were on top of him and had our hat on the cut, and we aimed for the inside hip, if we got there, we would have cut him. We're behind it, so he stays up. The back tackle here, the cut is right, but this is very close to a penalty in our league. All right? Very close. It's a good question. All right. Yeah, what? Yep. Yeah, Coach. I don't know that. Can you cut in college anymore? Yeah. No, that's exactly where they're going. That's why we're yeah, I'm not coaching something. Yes, and there's selective times. There are. All right, now look, I'm watching this, the front adjust with the little movement, and then all of a sudden what's going on, and we're caught in between. All right, I think the angle's good. I like everything about what we're doing on this easy release. I just think the runner missed that one. So, you know what? He missed that one. He made a lot of right reads during the year, and he's a rookie. He's going to be a hell of a player, and this is his type of run. All right, so we don't say a whole lot. Our running back coach does a hell of a job with these guys. I'm blessed to be around a bunch of guys that coach and coach really well and coach together. All right, so here's a cut on the backside. Watch your back tackle here. All right, this goes back. Listen, these guys all played all over the place. It wasn't ideal, but they did a hell of a job through it. All right, so this is a really good cut on the backside when you look at backside tackle going and getting landmark. All right, this is a great job by the backside guard in. Just get the elbow a little bit tighter, but run it and stay on it. All right, center right guard combination. I feel like the right guard is short here. Would you guys agree? Get it just a hair wider. It's not fatal. But Max then is not in a position to transition, and Max is a little deep on this angle, and you can see his backhand on his own and not on the defender. Yeah, okay, so I would say this. From gun, because we've done it so little, we aren't saying anything different. We're cheating him in just a little bit to get going, but we recognize we're behind some blocks from there. All right, but we are still aiming to what we would say is the outside leg of the tackle rather than the inside or the butt of the goes tight end coming across. That's the only thing that we've changed with the runner. Up front, we haven't done anything. When we're in pistol, I'm aiming exactly as if we're underneath. Everything from that spot as if we're underneath accepting this ball from the home position. The difference for the runner is because I can't see the ball snapped, if I'm going left and I'm the runner, my focus is on my left guard's left shoe. As soon as his picks up, I'm gone. That's my indicator to get off. Does that answer your question? Am I targeting the right person? Yeah. All right. All right, I want to scroll down. There's a couple things in here. See if I can do this. I just grabbed this going back to you guys are creating split flow opportunities. This actually goes back to, we didn't run it from this stuff, but listen, we're all trying to create different ways to run it. So you could see some stuff going tight inside. Here's the whole point of this. We know when there's split flow, he's going to fall back and be the B gap. He's going to fall back and be the A gap, and he's going to fall back and be C gap and play negatives. All right, that's what we think as we go in this. So here's where I go back to Jari. So this was something that we did. All right. But here's where I go back, and so we wanted to rep this a couple times in the game, and I think they did a good job. But just staying on the angle and blocking this thing is what we want. Now the left guard here, he takes a shot, but that's a DB that's down there differently than eating one up. You know what I'm saying? On that, absorbing that block on the backside. I think the back tackle should have stayed in. All right, just creating a little bit of split flow, and then I'm going to bounce down to some A, B, C. See some of that. Too much. All right. All right, again, split flow. Bring it to you. Great job by the backside guard, backside tackle, staying on that track. That's a nice B on the backside. Straight stiff arm, hand up, elbow extension. Right now, I like it. Good angle by our left guard. Here we go. All right, you guys get the idea.
On the backside, how much variation do you have from 2 or a 3 that goes inside the guard after the linebacker?
Say that again.
So either on the backside, head up or a 2-eye.
Yep.
It goes with the guard, and the tackle has to work the linebacker. How much?
Okay. Okay, here's the first thing. If it, in fact it aligns as a 2-eye and I'm the back tackle, I as the back guard right now, I'm telling him based on what I'm seeing and where that linebacker is, I'm making a man call. And I'm telling tackle, you're not part of this combination. The minute that 2-eye's here and this backer's in a position where I feel like I got to bring this guy and or we're seeing some movement, then I'm going to call the combination in on the backside to the B. Okay. Listen, you got a 2 technique, and you're stepping, he's stepping, and or a 3 that's stepping with you. Get on your angle and run it. You saw enough samples in there where the back tackle's behind it a little more than you'd like, but get on the angle and run and get going. And know that as you find these things, runner reads, the ball may end up behind you, all right? We're not telling them that's going to happen, but that could be to answer your question. Yeah, so I'm staying on this angle. This thing buys me as I go. I'm the back tackle. I'm going to then keep working and going, put him on and go. Yep. Listen, just a couple of what we might say to tight end 4-man services. There's a lot in here, all right? But we're gonna mic and go play side. You're gonna see all the same samples of everything that you just talked about as you go. Stiff arm backhand on the B. Let's get it going. All right. So here's our read: 1 to 2, 1 to 2 right now. All right. Off of 1. Nice transition. Hey, listen. This is the cost of doing business. The left guard transitions. This is outstanding. 1, 2, 3. Left hand 2. Look at him turn and snap that thing right back on. That's a hell of a job with that guy coming downhill. All right. But he snaps it, and now our feet are on the ground, and there isn't a running lane. But I liked where we were going with it. This was the third game of the season where our left guard went to, like we all do. We manage. All right. Here's a great look at it. We're in a 4-minute mode, but it's the same stuff. So this is base to the tight end. Add another back. Add another element of it. Here, watch your left guard here. There was a couple samples. I didn't get to it on the tight end. I want you to watch your left guard. See the left guard just have bad leverage here. Now, I don't like what he's doing, but this happens on the line of scrimmage. Watch his left hand go across, and he pull himself around. So envision being the tight end on the backside. The 6 technique slants inside. I'm just going to reach with my inside hand, hook, try to reach myself around and backdoor the guy, and just bring yourself around. It's a good technique. There's a couple of cuts on here. Unfortunately, they're not labeled that way, and I'd be lying if I said I could find them. How much time, Bob? All right. All right, 2 shots. Just to give you guys an idea. All right, so here's your ABs inside. Your 0 nose. All right, so the center's calling it in. See the center just throws backhand on the AB on an angle to that backer as he goes. Now, obviously, the nose steps away here. Nice job by the right guard, landmark. Accelerate, get 1 down a little quicker. Let's get 2 going. Hat speed to that spot, but I like what he's doing to the 3 without help. Hat's going, play side number. Hitting his target. We're outstanding in that situation. I'm going to say this. This is a failure now. Watch our back guard. This is no different than swinging or torquing. He cuts. You don't cut on an AB. You run. Watch what he does. It doesn't impact us. Actually, more of it's 61 than anybody. But watch your left tackle right now. He's got to negotiate. They have to negotiate. But envision this thing stopping right now and everything running. You're going to shut that seam down fast, and we don't get to the backside linebacker. Now, this is 61 more than it is in front, but that's the idea. I think this is an outstanding job of Max as he goes. We're aiming one pass. We find him on the angle. We block him on the angle. We run and go. We just got to get through on the backside.
Coach, on that bear look up front,
Yep.
Are you basically just kind of manning the front side guard?
Well, I think this, anytime you're working without help, it's a great question. I'm under the impression right now that I am handling this without anything. So there is a man element to it. I am targeting play side number rather than near edge of pack to armpit, and my back hand's going short rib area, so I've got a little more control. I'm not going quite as far, but we're committed to the run. We're committed to the angle. Does that make sense? So to your point, you watch this again, and you're the right guard, you're absolutely thinking that. The only thing that could potentially happen, and I haven't seen it from the jam fronts, all right, potentially they just fall into it. Okay, but right now, when that center makes an AB call, that right guard right now is saying, I'm working without him. All right, here's the next one. All right, I had to go back, find one more of these for our teaching purposes and suit it right now so you guys see the same idea here. Now, you could make an argument that this is simply an A center guard combination based on the back guard bubble, but we'd say, we're not splitting hairs over that. We're going. All right. Again, I think the left guard's footwork here, as it got better this year. Look how this is 16 season. All right, big first step. It sucks. All right, we can't get it down, but I like it. I like the target. We just got to accelerate the feet quicker. All right, it's a good cut. All right, I have way too much on there to really show you, but I did want to just give you an idea, some things that we're doing in the off season. Some of this is football school related. You can't have a defense. You said 10 minutes, Bob, or 5. Okay, so here we are in off season. We can't put another body across from another defender of one of their own. So all I'm doing is I just threw these Gilman squares down. I saw Juan do them, and I was like, yeah, they'll give me something to work to. So all I'm getting is target. So I like our left guard's first step. I'd say that's an angle of a backside 2-eye block. I'd say that's an angle of a backside departure of a B. You tell me, but you're on what we'd say is a 6-hole departure. All right, so we're just going right. All right. It's down, backside leg through. I like it. So we're just going to go through and we're going to look at these things. All right, there's a 7-hole. I like it. Left foot's down. I would say this. When he hits, you would say that he's bracing, working off the instep. Knee is inside ankle. I like the power-producing angles. We're able to come off of that. I like the body position posture. I like the backside leg driving the crotch. That's what we're working for. So we're just working on air. All right, now, I take him out. And now I just tie a little resistance to them, so we've got a stake driven in the ground back here. I don't know what the tension is. Here's what I tell them. There's enough tension that when they walk out, it's not pulling you out of your stance, but there's enough that you're going to feel this. I load their backside leg, so there's tension there. All right? It's exactly what we just did, but we're going to start this process. Again, we're just working on angle departure, chest over knee, take off, backhand, all those different things that we talked through. But first step down, backside leg through, we're running, we want to see shoes on the ground. Here's the great thing about it. These mats, they'll roll on you. That's the only thing. So our guys are using flat bottom shoes for the most part. All right, this is an up close, but you can just see angle of departure, take off, here we go. All right, left tackle, same thing, angle of departure, take off. But you can see this band and resistance training, trying to create these elements of some block areas. All right, now, here's part of the teaching progression. So I start them in a fit position. Assume that I've gotten my hat to the outside edge of the pec to the armpit. My back elbow could be in a little deeper and a little bit tighter. I've already taken one step and two is now through the crotch. I've already put myself two through the crotch. So what I'm going to emphasize is third step up the field and drive backside knee. I don't know that these are going to be great samples, but it's the idea. It's the idea, and I want to get that backside hand locked and go. All right, now our defender starts to react. We give them little different ways to go. You'll see that, but that's the idea. And really all we're emphasizing is backside leg. Run to finish it. All right, here we go. All right, you see it. All right, now, here's the next phase of it. So now we're working locking the inside arm or backside arm. This is to me, and I think, vital to what you're doing. All right, so we're going to start on this angle. We're going to run him. This is a center working on a shade. This is a guard on a 3. This is the play side tackle. It doesn't make any difference. You are running him, and you are running him to create leverage. Get your ass going on this angle that reflects the play. At some point, this defender running with him is going to try to launch him one way or the other, typically outside playing back inside. If we did 9 or 10 of them, 9 of them, we're going to lose them that way. We may every once in a while give them the other way. But that's where it's going. So watch your partner working here. He's just trying to launch him and then drive that backside and stay on the angle. All right, here we go. This is a left tackle. This is a left tackle. All right, so 2 is already in. Here comes the third step. Start it. Backside leg through. Run it. Backside hand placement under. All right, hat 2. And then launch him. All right, now we can get a little bit more violence from that guy, right? But that's the idea. You guys see it. And all we're teaching them is the fallback. All right, just on air, just your guard tackle combinations. Here's what I like about the left guard. This kid just went and got himself a little more money. He's going to be a starter in Houston. He's a hell of a kid. He got cut twice, came to us, developed. He worked his ass off. This kid has intensity in everything he does. Watch it. 1, 2, 3, there's transition. 1, 2, 3, there's transition. So we're just developing rhythm. We can do this thing with nobody across from us. All right, now we tie body 2. All right, I think the right tackle is a little short with landmark for help. Would you agree? I think the play side foot's not bad. It's down, but I think his stripe is on his stripe. You see it? I don't like it. Get your landmark to it. Now, I put it on here, right guard, because you can see 1, 2, 3. I'd like to see him snap off that. But right at the point is he transitions. Watch his eyes locate right now. I think that's outstanding. Eye snap, eyes right now, location, and then target. One-man pass, aim into the play side number. All right, on the second level. All right, here we go. Here's what we're trying to get done here. Taking the same combination, center guard, guard tackle, tight, they don't make any difference. I want to see the guard now on its third step if there's color in their transition. All right, so you're seeing this right or near arm right now, and this was a struggle for us to create this other than in team, and when we're working against our guys, we try not to put them on the ground, all right? We try not to work and put them on the ground when we're working against our defense. All right, hey, center guard combination. You guys just saw a ton of them, all right? All right, left guard, play side. Here's my point. And I think when I went back and I watched John Benton when he's in Houston, you can talk later, it'll be outstanding. Here's what I saw. I got 3 out of, I don't know how many, over 1,000. I got 3 where this 2-eye was right here. And there was the inside foot was the first thing he started. There was a little load off the left shoe, but it never moved back. Just loaded the cheek, and the right knee went through, and the right shoulder was on this angle and stayed on this angle. And it was the most efficient movement and most powerful movement through the angle that I had seen. So a year ago, I start to introduce this concept to stay in there because I'm always stepping play side, and I saw failure, and I didn't. But you know what? We came back. I spent a shitload of time on it. We're gonna be better at it. All right. And if you guys see us on film, get an opportunity. I hope that you see what I'm talking about. All right. But I like the line of force. I like the angle. I like the transitions. Here's the other thing I'd say about double teams. I didn't comment on this, but watch your center left guard here in this combination. If the center's working with the guard to the mic, and you guys find the double team there and the mic's over it, run the double team to the mic. Don't try to come off. Run the double team to the mic. All right? If that's the tackle tight end working into Sam, if that's the guard tackle combination to the 5 to the mic and he's over it, run the double team to the mic. Does that make sense? Okay, perfect. All right, combination. All right, this is all we're doing here. Same idea. The center, he's telling him, hey, listen, I got landmark. He's making the call for me. All right, whatever that is, single R for us. All right? Here's what I'm going to say. the center will simply say hand if he wants hand. If he wants more than that, it's just single R or L. You follow me? So if he wants just hand, if he feels like he can go get this guy, all right, he's going to go get him right now. Does that make sense?
Coach, do you ever cheat that guard up on that 2-eye? Try to get
No, no, never do. All right, now this is guard-tackle combination to the 4-eye. All right, there's the idea, inside footwork. And this inside foot, right, wrong, or indifferent, what we're saying is going right through our target line. Right through our target line. So it opens, and we're going right on that angle. All right, again, this was going back, just getting the inside foot going. It's too big, but it's the idea of just hitting the combination. All right, just putting some combinations together on the backside. All right, center guard combination, it's an A. All right, just working a pseudo nose. You can say that's an AB if you tied it all in together backside. All right, nose playing straight with just a slight step two and reading off of that. Backside guard going and getting leverage to tighten it up. All right, here we go. Going the other direction now. Nose just moving a little bit to him. Key near knee. Landmark, take care. All right, again, backhand. Okay, now, last thing is we look at it. Now the nose away. On the angle you find him, near hand. Here we go. Transition up to leverage. All right, here we go. Now, this is off season, just, again, a year ago. All right, stiff arm, straight out, turn of the shoulder pad. You guys see it? That's what we're striving for right there. There's the angle. Now, I obviously am over there, and I'm not worth a shit, but I would like to see myself a little lower to train this thing. So, grade me down. All right, and then just put it together against our guys. Okay. ABs, okay, you guys get it. C's, the same stuff. I'm not going to bug you with that. All right, now, just second level. Here we go. Absorb and buy. Absorb and buy. Listen, our tight end coach, Dan Campbell, does a phenomenal job. He's got a group of guys working. The kid that works with me, Brendan, Nugent does a phenomenal job. He's got a group. I got a group. We are working these guys nonstop from the minute we get to individual to any time we get to team. They're getting more reps and more coaching. And so every once in a while I get a little pissed off because there's guys hanging over here and the drills don't. But I don't give a shit. Let's get them going and let's coach them off of this. So the camera guy, I tell him stay focused in one area and one area only when he does come with us. I think this is a good angle, though. When you look at the play side guard, he comes off a tag, transition, and how he absorbs the second level. And all he's doing is just spreading his feet. His hands are wide, and he's gonna buy this guy right now, and then he's going to work to sustain and control. It's not a knockout shot. All right, here's Alex's cut drill. All right, I think this is a hell of a drill. Here's the key point now. You got to get your hat, your backside shoulder going through the inside hip. You got to run through the cut, and when you land, you got to land on your chest. Don't let these guys roll. All right, but this is the idea. Alex comes a couple times every year, does a phenomenal job. He's been valuable, giving me a lot of wisdom and cut a lot of corners for me, shit that I would have been screwing up. All right, but you get the idea. All right, here's what I think is our best drill. Every day in full pads, ourselves and our defensive line get together and we hit blocks. Most of them are two-man combinations. All right, this one, I made a two-man combination. I'm on the other side. They're getting cadence, and all I'm giving them is a play. So this is a 6-hole wide zone play, backhand, get your going. I'm the mic on the backside, so the A is working backside. That's all that's happening. All right? Here we go. Play side guard tackle. I'm going to give them a direction. I'm going to give them wide zone. I'm going to give them backside wide zone, and I'm going to give them a double team combination if we're running gap football. Those three things. That's all I'm working. Every day I go there with them. All right? But I think this is the best drill we do. Now, I don't know that this is realistic for the runner, but I would say this goes right back to some of the things that you saw on film. When you look at the left tackle, all right, we got to get one down, two's got to happen faster. Here's what these guys come in and say. This guy's not playing the ball. He's coming, he's hitting me in the mouth. What am I doing, Dan? What are we doing? Here's what I'm saying. You're learning to get your feet on the ground faster, get your pad level down, get your backside leg through, and run and block him on the angle you find him. All right? And then let's have a transition to team and all those different things. So I recognize that these angles may be a little bit challenging, but the payoff will be when we're working hopefully in the structure of the scheme. I think it's a pretty decent job here when I look at left guard. I don't like the right elbow. It misses just a little, or the right hand. It misses just a little bit. All right, but I like where his line of force is. I like 2 down. I think the second step crosses over just a little bit more than you'd like. You'd like to drive the backside leg through the crotch, but that's not fatal. But we do know that once that shoe goes that far, it's a fight like a son of a bitch to not get flattened. All right, we all know that. All right, thank you. All right, so same idea. All right, here we go. So here we are on the backside. You give them the combinations. Now we're just putting in the application of a couple of drills. All right, I thought the guys did a great job last night. We don't have a ton of drills. I do some things pre-practice. I do obvious every day things that we're going to hit. And then I think this is the best shit we do. All right, so we're working Bs. All right, then the last thing we do is we just simply put it together. It's a half-line drill. We don't have backside stuff working with us or front side, depending on what we're doing. And we're just putting down linemen. We're actually practicing against charges in this look. And then we put ourselves in position to be backers. So here's just a tight inside run to the 3. All right? And that 3 technique's getting off the football, and our right guard's first step is way too long. Do you see it? You see it? And here's what my contention. I can see it's off the shoe. He's got a big step here. I want it down. That's just what I believe. Doesn't make it right, but it's what I believe. Here's the thing I'd say. All right? I think that if this guy was wider, I'd say our tackle would do that. You'd say a bigger step. I think the angle might be slightly deeper, but don't let the shoe get any longer. Get the thing down so 2 can get going. Does that make sense? All right, so you guys got the idea, and then we got another side over here. There you go. Just the open side, running it left, right, and you're making the combinations and go. Listen, I appreciate your attention, and if there's anything I can share, please do, because I've gotten it from all these guys. They've helped me so much, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.